Hello, hello, it's Wednesday, so it's time for a live studio update from me, Aisling Drennan. If you are new to following me, I do these updates every Wednesday to provide an authentic insight into life as an artist. So this week I'm going to be talking about my upcoming studio sale, and I'm going to be doing some work on these two new colours on my palette and just giving you an idea of how I start off a painting. So if you've been following me for a while, you'll be aware of my studio sale. I haven't had a studio sale in about 4 or 5 years now. I don't do them very often. If it is something that sounds good, please sign up to my newsletter via my website. The link is in my bio on my Instagram. And what I'm going to do is each week for the studio updates, I'm going to show you a couple of paintings that will be included on the newsletter sale. So first up is a painting that did extremely well for me because it was selected for last year's Royal Ulster Academy's annual exhibition. That's a really prestigious exhibition that I was delighted to be selected for. So we have Leap 2019, this was made in 2019. And in this strip here, the first thing you'll notice is that there's a good reflection. So I had put some varnish across this to get some variant on the texture. I've also used, this is oil paint on canvas, but I've also used some oil bar to cut back into the layers of paint. Yeah, that did really well for me. And second up is Sin A, which is the Irish for that's it. So again, this is oil paint on canvas, really vibrant. Lots of, really gestural, expressive brush marks happening here. Great little painting. And so that newsletter will be going out towards mid to late November, and I'll have up to 50% off on some of those paintings. So again, if that sounds good, sign up to my newsletter via my website. And now I'm going to invite you to come and start off these paintings with me. So if you tuned into my studio update last week, I was back in Ireland, lovely Ireland, where I'm originally from, and I was in the Burn where I grew up. And the Burn is a unique rock landscape, and it's become quite a big inspiration within my painting practice. So I'm going to share some of the studies that I did of the Burn quite a while back now, like 2018, 2019, and show you how I translate that into paintings. This is the way I've been starting a lot of paintings recently. I mean, recently, like for the past 2 or 3 years, say, and it's to demonstrate as well that there's, I'm very process-based as a painter. Every mark that goes onto a painting, there's a reason why it's there. It's a researched reason, and it's a well thought out approach to the painting. So I'm an avid fan of keeping a visual diary. I've kept visual diaries for, gosh, since I started painting basically. And it's where I record all my ideas and my mark making and like anything really that I think is going to inspire me or draw some ideas. So some studies I had made of the walls in the Burn, the formations of stone are these. So this is just testing out different materials and looking at different formations and shapes and abstracting and pulling from them, and having a bit of crack with it and seeing how far I can push it or where it might take me. So after about a year or so of working with them like this, I started to turn them on their side, which gives you a very different look at the lines and the mark making that I'm going to use and how I'm going to transfer that onto these paintings. So I'm really interested in the positive and negative space of stone formations, and I want that linear, that real elongated effect. So particularly this little study here, I've drawn a lot from this, and behind me you'll see an example of that with these paintings above here that I started working on last week. And now I'm going to show you how I do that. So I'm taking these shapes, picking out what I like today. It always changes up a bit. And I've put down the first layer of colour, these mustard tones. Relatively new colour for me in my palette because I don't know, it's getting gloomier outside, so I think I just fancied something a bit brighter. and sure, why not, you know, you have to play with what you have, and or you have to play with creativity in order to progress and move on. So I'm going to try this colour, I'm going to see where it goes. I could totally feel like it's not going in my way, but we'll give it a go and see what happens. So the first layer is down and it's been blended, and now I'm going to work into it and I'm going to find these shapes that I want as a starting point. And I've just realised I'm going to have to move, so excuse my shaky hand so I can give you a better idea. This is so like 2021. Everyone has one of these stands for their phone so they can do recordings. I'm obviously not as advanced and organised and set up as other people are, but I just want you guys to be able to see, get the grain and the texture through. So in order to find the shapes, I'm going to push in through this layer of paint, which is still wet. So oil paint takes quite a while to dry. So there's kind of a beauty in that because it gives you more time to think about what you want to do with it. It doesn't dry straight away with, like, say, an acrylic or like a water-based paint. And I do this with my finger, and I use a rag just to push the paint through and start to find what kind of shape I want to make. Okay, I've just grabbed my visual diary again to give me a brief guideline. So I want to bring it off the board as well. I want to have that elongated kind of feel and like that kind of awkward shape. So because this is the first layer of paint, like, I'm not too precious about how it goes down or sort of how perfect it is. And because this is a panel board, love working on panel boards because you can feel the texture coming through. Unfortunately, you probably won't be able, like the texture of the wood, you probably won't be able to pick up on that with the camera screen. But we'll see how we go. And then I want to kind of balance it out a bit. So I'm thinking about shape. I'm thinking about kind of that awkwardness of the natural and organic shape. It's not going to be perfect, but I want to just kind of find something in it and see what works and then draw on that. And also, this is a really nice way to paint. It's a really physical way to get like involved with the paint. And finally then I want to bring it down. I want to bring it off. I'm liking this kind of curve here, so I might just mirror that. Let's see. Do I want it narrow or wide? Go wide. Go a bit broader in it. And that's the starting marks. Yeah, that's how we begin. And what I'm going to do now is let that set, and then I'll come in tomorrow again. I'll flip it over. The paint will be tacky tomorrow because my studio is quite dry, which is great. It means the paint dries a little bit faster than normal. And I'll put down another layer and see how that goes. So I hope you enjoyed that insight into how I started painting. If you want to sign up to my newsletter for my studio sale, pop over to the link in my bio and you can sign up via my website. If you are in the London area, my studio at Delta House Studios, we're doing our open studio event towards the end of November. I'll be doing a mail out on that as well. So if you are in London or the Greater London area, it's a great day out, thinking about popping by and saying hello. It would be great to see you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll chat to you all again next week.